This is how to make your manifestation, whatever it is that you desire, new house, new car, wonderful loving relationship, absolutely anything that you could possibly want in your life, chase you. Oftentimes, it feels like whether we're a beginner or an expert in practicing the law of attraction, law of assumption, manifestation in general, that some things manifest easily, effortlessly, and other things, no matter what we do, no matter how much we imagine, visualize, affirm, they take very long or they don't happen to precipitate at all. We don't see the results that we're looking for. So, the reason for this often comes down to one feeling that we have within, and it's the energy, the vibration with which you are trying to manifest your desire. There's that word, trying. So, there's a difference between trying to manifest and accepting that your manifestation is already done here and now. If that sounds confusing, it's because when we look at life from a spiritual point of view, from a manifestation point of view, even a quantum point of view, we do not experience life in a linear fashion. It's not that there is a solid past, present, and future. Rather, there is only this present moment here and now. You cannot take anything from the past and bring it here to me. It only exists now in your memory, your mind, or rather, your imagination. Now, what that means is you are free to experience now whatever you desire. If you want to relive your past, you can do that. Many people are doing so, probably not in the highest vibration. Or if you want to create what we would call the future, you can do that by positively imagining that you already have what you want. So, if you're doing this over and over, whether through affirmations to amplify that feeling of satisfaction, fulfillment, or visualization to feel it real, activating the imaginal or mental senses, whatever it is that you're doing in order to make your desire come to fruition, if it's taking a long time, it comes down often to this feeling of desperation. Desperation or neediness is the number one way to fail at manifestation. Now, I want to tell you that you actually can't fail. The law is perfect. It's not that other people are more blessed or they have the right karma or whatever you may think as to why some people get what they want, whether it seems huge to us or impossible to us. None of that really matters. Everything is the same size according to the subconscious mind. That is the infinite power and intelligence, the God or the source, the universe, which is creating each and every experience we have. So it's not that what you're asking for is too much. It's not that the techniques don't work for you. It's oftentimes the energy with which you are coming at your manifestation. You may be coming automatically from a place of neediness, wanting, desiring, and all of this, as we know, is out of alignment with having your desire now. What you want to do when you're manifesting, of course, is to assume that you already have whatever it is that you want. And you may be doing that for a moment, here or there. You say the affirmation, you feel better about your circumstances, and then after that, what do? Do you maintain the feeling honestly? Do you continue to think from fulfillment? That is, do you give yourself mentally the thoughts you would have if it were already yours? Or do you go back to seeing the world from your present physical circumstances? If that's what you're doing, the second thing, if you're going back to your old ways, then you are making very little change in your actual vibration, your state of consciousness, and so you're not giving a clear message to the subconscious, God, source, universe, whatever you prefer to call this infinite power that you are, that creates your manifestation, that makes it come true physically, and therefore your results are inconsistent. That's why you may see other people getting the thing that you're trying to manifest. You may see angel numbers and think you're getting signs, but you wonder why it's not actually here yet. All of these things, even looking outwardly for signs, is desperation. I advise against it. As Neville Goddard said, signs follow, they do not precede. That means that you have to first assume you have it. You have to continue and persist in that assumption, and then it will harden into fact. It's not that you imagine it a little bit and then it comes true. You may find that to be the case with something small. Maybe you manifest a cup of coffee and it takes very little imagining. But the reason why that's so easy is because of how you're going at it in your mind. There's not a lot of neediness. There's not a lot of desperation, unless, of course, you're very tired in the morning for manifesting a cup of coffee. So there's no resistance, in other words. You want to allow yourself to remove resistance. You may encounter resistance as you're trying to persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled all throughout the day, as you should, making it natural to you, as you should. You may encounter circumstances that tell you you don't have it, or it's going to be difficult, or other people say that it's impossible. But you have to get used to ignoring the so-called facts of the world. These are symbolized as the stones in the Bible. If you let the facts of the world stone you, then you are never going to achieve your goal. You're not going to assume yourself to be the God, the source, the creator of your universe. Not that you want to sit here and declare, I am God, really staying in a needy or desperate energy, because that's not going to line up with the subconscious, but rather you're trying to think of God not as an outside being, but as a higher, infinitely powerful, infinitely intelligent version of yourself that is capable of all things now. Even if you're small I, you may be Brendan, you may be John, you may be Pamela, it doesn't matter what your name is, but this small self, the ego really, the conscious mind, is not capable of much. It only thinks in terms of survival. It thinks in terms of fear. Fear is the opposite of faith. It's faith in the opposite direction. So what you want to do is learn to look at your manifestation as something that's already done, because there's a higher being. If you want to call it God, you can, but this is not an outside God. This is not the typical organized religion God. So don't be turned off if I reference the Bible. I'm not saying it in a way that there's something that's going to punish you for your sins or send you to hell. Nothing at all of that nature is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the infinite power of your consciousness, the I amness, the awareness back of all your thoughts, all your feelings, everything that you know to be true about your personal self. This is the impersonal self, and it will do whatever you ask as long as you know how to ask. So that's why in this video I'm explaining why it's so important for you to ask in the right energy. Do not sit down to imagine as though it's work. Do not turn your nightly visualizations or early morning visualizations, affirmation sessions, whatever your preferred technique is, scripting, it could be anything. Whatever it is, do not look at it as work. Don't think you're doing it in order to make something happen. That is already the wrong energy, because that's coming from a place of not having. It sounds so backwards because we're used to step one, I do this thing, step two, I get it. But when it comes to manifestation, it's step one, I have this thing. Step two, I experience it physically. That's how you need to look at it. You need to stay in the awareness that you already have it. You do not allow yourself to think about what you need to do or what technique you need to find that's going to finally make this thing happen for you. That is not at all the proper energy. And I'm being honest with you about this because I have been there. When I was having difficulty manifesting financial abundance, the ability to be comfortable while doing the things that I love, I was curious as to why my results were so inconsistent. I could be pretty abundant one month, and the next month I would be struggling very much, experiencing a lot of fear, worry, doubt. And the reason for this often came down to my ability to believe that I actually had it now. I was going back to desperation. I was going back to neediness. I was going back to comparing myself to others and putting abundance on a pedestal. Now, your situation may be manifesting something other than abundance. Maybe abundance comes easily, but it's love that you want. Or maybe you got the job you've always dreamed of, but the house that you want seems to evade you. No matter what it is, it all works the same way, because everything is simply energy appearing differently based on its rate of vibration. Science has proven this. Everything is made up of energy vibrating at different rates. So it looks like this physical body. It looks like the camera in front of me. It looks like the car outside or the dream house. It doesn't matter what it is. It's all the same thing. But the illusion is where we think that one thing is more difficult to achieve or manifest than the other. When you get past this, when you learn to see how useless the physical perspective is in the manifestation process, then you're going to understand your true power. And that power is your ability to assume anywhere, anytime, no matter your physical circumstances, that what you want is already yours. When you do that in depth, when you let it sink into your heart of feeling, into your soul, in the knowingness, in the belief, living as though it's true each and every moment, no matter what seems to come up, then you are letting go of all attachment. You are letting go of all neediness, all desperation, all putting something on the pedestal. So often we look at physical things and give them such importance. We think they're the most important thing in the world to us. If we don't get that money, we can't pay the bill. If we don't get that relationship, we'll be forever alone. If we don't this, then that. And it's all based in fear. It's all based in desperation. And that's the energy you want to remove yourself from. No longer allow it in the mind. Notice anywhere and everywhere that your mind tries to go back to the former pattern, the pattern of the old man. Remember, we're told, Put off the old man and put on the new man. That means put off your old way of thinking, feeling, living, believing, and put on that new state of consciousness, that new vibration, and persist in it. Don't allow yourself to look back, or you'll become a pillar of salt. That's a preservative, right? The way things are right now, do you want to preserve them, or do you want to move forward into the fulfillment of your each and every desire? If so, then you have to be willing to be aware enough to let go of these old ways and patterns of mental activity and change them. Don't just ignore them. Don't just notice it and say, okay, I'll stop in this moment. Maybe take a moment to breathe. Come to a even 0 point or a point of just deep relaxation. And from there, then plant the seed. When you're calm, when you're still, you open the subconscious mind to receive your new impression. But if you're trying to force yourself from deep fear, deep need, deep desperation into fulfillment, you can just as easily be shot back down when the physical world continues to reflect your old story. You're going to be presented with what you were feeling previously, that neediness, that desperation, that not having energy, and it's going to show up in your world as a seeming obstacle, and you have the opportunity to react or respond. If you react, if you continue with the old patterns, that's turning into a pillar of salt. That's looking back, that's keeping the old man alive. You want to put all of that aside and you want to look forward, respond to the situation. Ask yourself in that moment, how would I look at this situation if I already had what I want? And then do it, right? Think the thoughts you would have. Feel the feelings you would have. Feel that love, that light, that security, that joy, that peace, that calmness, that relief. Whatever it is that fulfillment means to you, embody it now. And remember, there's no other time to do this. You can't put it off. That doesn't mean you beat yourself up for what you did in the past. It doesn't matter. Things can change in an instant. But the key is remaining present, remaining content in the present moment, no matter what seems to appear. It's all illusion. You can change things as fast as you can allow yourself to commit to these mental changes within. So the main point is recognize where you're being needy or desperate and realize you are repelling everything that you want when you're trying to manifest with that energy. Recognize that. Are you trying to manifest? If so, what are you doing? Look at your mental activity and know that you have it. What would you be doing right here, right now, if you had it? If it's something that you can't do physically, imagine it. Or affirm something. Have a mental thought that you would actually have if your desire were already fulfilled. Say, there's something you want to buy. Say it's a brand new fancy purse. Physically, you don't have it in the bank account to do it. Buy it mentally. Wear it now mentally. Assume it's yours. And let nothing stop you from thinking, feeling, believing, living that way. And you'll be amazed at how things come together to make that imaginal act come true, as long as you persist in it. Don't do it for a moment and then let it go and then continue back in the old patterns. Persist in your new assumption. Let it be true here and now. Make it your natural state to assume that's who you are. If it helps, you can come up with a pattern. Perhaps every time you take a sip of water, you affirm and assume the feeling that your desire is already fulfilled. Repetition impresses the subconscious mind. Intensity impresses the subconscious mind. How intensely can you feel and believe that what you want is already yours right here, right now? Allow yourself to do this. Imagine like a child. A child doesn't care if it seems possible whether or not they can be an astronaut. They feel themselves in this moment now flying into outer space. They're so excited. They're so joyful. They don't think about any of the obstacles. They aren't focused on problems or how difficult the world would say it is to reach that. They live it now. That's why to enter the so-called kingdom of heaven, which is really just representative of everything you desire, you must become like a little child. Because children have that infinite trust in the power of God, source, universe, infinite intelligence of the subconscious mind that you must have. It's not outside of you, it is within yourself. But have that trust, have that knowing, and have that commitment, persistence, and faith so that you can actually see it through before returning to your old patterns. So that is the key, to make your desires chase you. Drop all neediness, all desperation. Assume it's yours now. Take it for granted. Live like someone who's always had it. Let yourself mentally act as though you've always had it, and it's no big deal. Don't make a big deal out of anything. What's a big deal to God? Absolutely nothing. Everything's easy and effortless. So you assume that to be true for you, and you'll experience the truth of who you are, which is one with God, source, universe, infinite intelligence and power of the subconscious mind. By the way, if you want to learn to master this process of releasing all neediness, desperation, and manifest the big things fast by knowing who you are, by knowing your place in this world, check out the Manifest Anything with Detachment course. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and the description. By the way, if you want the key to manifest a brand new life with everything you could possibly desire in 11 minutes, check out this video right here. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Take care.